There's two new government land sales. How is it going to affect you, and like what is the outlook?
All right, let's find out.
There's two new upcoming government land sales, and it's actually at the Lentor area. So two may not be interesting, but when we look at what has been happening since like last year and this year, right, it's actually 4 total land sale sites at this Lentor area, and there's one more plot, right, that is on the reserve list.
Yeah, so I'm really excited over this, obviously, because I actually live quite near to the area. So the more new launches there is, actually is better for my property lah.
Why?
Why? Because I think if you look at land prices, right? Generally, the highest land prices will typically come from these new launches where developers compete against one another to actually secure this particular land parcel to really build up the condo, because that's where I would feel that the prices are the more expensive in terms of PSF perspective.
Cool. So let's take a look, right, when there's like gonna be like a total of like 4 new launches in this area, right? And when we look at the total number of new apartments available, it's gonna be like in the 2,000 plus range, 2,000 plus unit range.
Yes, and the last time a 2,000 plus unit condominium, I like to group this up together because they're all basically side by side, right? So the last time a 2,000 plus unit condominium came up was, I think, Treasure Tampines and of course Normanton Park, these two, right? So Treasure Tampines was launched pre-pandemic. It took maybe about 2-3 years to pretty much start out at a 90% rate, 2 plus to 3 years. Normanton Park took shorter time. Actually, it took about 1.5 years because it launched at a hot market period, hot market, right? But still, no matter at 2,000 units, it will still take about 2 to 3 years to, in a way, roughly sell out. So given this, that there's going to be 2,000 over new stock coming up, that's where it gets very interesting, because now we are at a hot market period. But the key here is that will the market stay hot in the next 2 to 3 years to come for them to sell these 2,000 units within this short period of time as well?
My take is it's going to be a little bit more tougher. So reason being, right, when we are talking about Normanton Park, right, obviously there is like the whole One North area, a lot of job creation, like Grab is there and like Shopee is there. Yeah, it's going to be doing well because like more people want to move into the area. But what about Lentor? What do you think?
I mean, I live in the area. I mean, I gotta be biased over here and say it's a good area, but you know what? I gotta be very objective, right? I think as an area, it's still not yet matured up. I feel what it needs a lot more commercial. I know that one plot of land is going to build commercial plots, but I'm not sure is that enough.
I think that's shopping mall, right? Not really like office or like.
So talking about retail, sorry, commercial retail. Yeah. So we're talking about it needs more F&B shopping.
That's definitely happening with the whole integrated development.
Yeah. So I think they need to launch, and I gotta see the spec on how big of a commercial retail they're gonna build, right? Before maybe I give my opinion into how successful it will be. But I think what it needs in the area is definitely a mall. Why? Because I tell you why. Every time I'm in the area, right? So every time at night, I want to eat food. Then I grab food over. Half my list is almost one cuisine, which is Indian food, right? Because it's very near to the Casuarina, Prata, the upper tunnel of Prata place. Right? So I think there's already a lack of dining options over there. So I think with a very strong retail F&B coming up into the area, it might spruce up the area to become a bit younger. Right, but so now if I were to describe the area, I would say it's still a bit older, because all the landed properties typically is the older families or starts staying there.
Actually, a quick tip over here, right, is that when there's so much housing, like gonna be like 2,000 over units, right, this means like if each home has like 3 or 4, let's say 4 people, right, there's gonna be 8,000 more like people, right, staying in the area in condominiums. So and the percentage of people that will be ordering Grab, right, that can afford to do Grab deliveries, right, I think it's quite high.
True, that's true, right? But something just sparked my thinking over here. Actually, I think what the area needs, actually BTO. I think we need that 4,000 to 5,000 BTO units coming into the area. When the Lentor actually have quite a huge plot, right? And I think the BTOs will 100% do well.
Why?
In the area.
Why would you say that?
Why? Because it's rare to find a BTO that is very walkable to MRT.
Yeah.
And
it's there are a lot
of plots there, all right? And of course, you look at BTOs in many other areas, obviously all do well, so you'll naturally be oversubscribed. But it being that close to MRT, I think will definitely do well. And I think the area needs that that younger vibes where young couples start coming in to really spruce up the entire area.
So what you're saying is that even though there's like almost a 2,000 plus unit launch in this area, right? Once you start to see the BTO coming in, right?
That's when it gets very interesting. That's
then
when
all the condos over here, right?
Yes.
Will have very good value because of the next buyers.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. So now I think that's the big challenge over here, and I'm not sure how government is going to plan out. But so far, as you can see, all the plots that's launched is all private condos. Private condos alone, I don't think is enough to boost up the entire area in terms of vibrancy. BTO coming, that's great, right? But I think looking at it also, we're just looking at, of course, one main factor that affects a lot of private property prices is actually this thing called schools.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in this 4 plot of lands, right, we need to be very careful because only some of them, right, fall within 1 kilometer of
CHIJ St. Nicholas, right? So if you don't know, if you go and search a ranking, CHIJ St. Nicholas is technically the most oversubscribed primary school in the entire of Singapore. So technically, you think about popularity, is ranked number 1, right?
Of course, all schools are good schools, but some are more popular.
Yeah. So this is the most oversubscribed, which means it's technically the most popular, right? But I think the key here is this: is that when we export down the URA map.
So
right,
wait. So first of all, right, why is school important in this area?
Yes. Recently, there is measures that came up, right? That says that, you know what, there's no more alumni
lower
ratio
for the
right?
alumni.
So they're putting in a lot more emphasis in the 1 km away from primary school, right? Giving them more priority in terms of number of vacancies and number of applicants, right?
So the 1 kilometer distance becomes more important, right?
Very, very important.
And on top of that, right, when we look at this Lentor area, right, it's not going to be like your CBD area whereby the expats are going to be working there.
Yeah.
So it's going to be more for like families, right?
Yes.
And when we are talking about families, then you have children.
Schools.
And when you have children, right, exactly, like schools are important.
Yeah. So I think that when we explore the URA map, I would say that
most the school
maybe let's say there are
query,
four there, right? I mean, 2 has already been bidded, right, by many Google Land, right? And 2 is upcoming, right? I would say that out of these 4, 2 is pretty certain is within the 1 km. 1 is like 50-50. And then we have 50-50,
maybe the 1 kilometer,
some might not. And
of
course, the furthest one, which is actually the integrated one, they're questionable, right? I don't think it will be within the 1 km, but who knows, right? The zoning sound is a bit weird.
So given a choice, right, would you rather take the integrated because of its convenience, or would you rather take the
you
others,
know what?
right?
I mean, the crazy thing is this. I think the market generally do not really consider all these factors, and they will think that integrated is just very sexy and great and that by itself will sell, which is going to be the first launch, by the way. So I still predict that will sell out very well, right? But in actual reality, I mean, if looking at the investor point of view, I would probably choose the one just beside. I'd rather walk across one small little road, which is like 30 seconds walk away from the MRT. So I would rather do that.
I think a few minutes 30 seconds is really need to run, right?
It's really very near. It's really very near, man. It depends how they build it, right? So for what gate as well, right? So maybe 1 minute. So I think the key over here is that I would rather walk that 1 minute as compared to pay the premium for it and make sure I'm within the schools. Yeah. Of course, the alternative is that there are another school, which is the Anderson. Anderson, I think, is still top 65 or top 70 in terms of popularity. I mean, it's an okay school, right? But of course, nothing beats the most oversubscribed school, because that's where people are willing to pay rental to be in the area so that they can even attempt to get into that primary school, right? Or they'll overpay for her property, right, to really settle down for the next 6 years, because primary school is 6 years.
So I think the whole concept is that it doesn't even matter, right, whether are we concerned ourselves, right, about the school or not. It's about the next buyer. And when we are looking at the next buyer, right, it may be a family, and if they have children, then the schools become important for them. Hence, right, yes, I will also select those projects, right, that is within the 1 kilometer distance of the school, or the popular school.
So in summary, all right, just a few things to keynote to take a look out. Number 1, make sure that if you want to buy something in that area, make sure that you're within St. Nicholas School. I think that's very important for exit strategy. Number 2, all right, is to make sure that if you look at the stock upcoming, the entire area is going to be 2,000 unit, technically a 2,000 plus unit area. So don't need to be so I think we don't need to be so in a hurry and rush to buy in on the first one, right? Because there are more to come and it's really guaranteed to come. So just do maybe be a bit careful, especially if they are gonna price it up high. because of the lack of supply in the market. Since we know that more supply is coming out, just be a bit more careful in that sense.
I hope you have learned something from this video. We'll see you soon.